Hello, this is Alba Gomez and welcome to Amplify the podcast. I am incredibly passionate about helping men and women amplify who they are and how they show up in the world. Let's have a conversation about how you can amplify your confidence and presence so you get the results you want in your business and career. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 12 of Amplify the Podcast with today's super special guest, Nidia Spinola. This gorgeous woman is a friend and somebody I am very proud to introduce to all of you today. She's a holistic counselor and an intuitive flower alchemist who channels light, language, and healing. And I have had the pleasure of enjoying her sessions, and she is incredible. She embodies the I am presence by activating soul memories and dormant DNA, reminding people of the divine nature. And as I said before, this is something that I have always been so fascinated with, understanding that we are so much more than this body, and there's so much lack of connection with our soul. So I am super excited to be having this beautiful chat with Nidia today. And I just want to start by you sharing with us, what is something not many people know about you?
About me? Oh gosh, you really put me on the spot.
Yes, because that's the idea.
Well, okay. Everyone knows that I love to dance, but not everybody knows what kind of music I like. So on the outside, I'm kind of, like all prim and proper, but I kind of like ghetto rap, like hardcore ghetto rap. So not many people know about that.
I didn't know that. Oh my
God. Yeah. I part with all other music as well, like reggaeton, and I love all sorts of music, but nobody would, know it would be, unless they're very close to me.
That's so cool. I love it. I love the sharing out. Okay. So as I introduce you to, I share that you channel the I am presence. So can you please explain to us a little bit more about what is the I am presence?
I would love to explain that because a lot of people don't know what that is. So the I am is basically the highest version of yourself. So obviously we all have a higher self and a lower self, and that is the embodiment that is from above, but in you. So that's what embodiment is. So it's from the top to the bottom, and it's living the highest version of you. So that is the I am presence, which is already in you, but it has to be activated and aligned and grounded. So when that's all happening, like you're congruent in word and action and in deed, everything kind of flows. And it means you're authentic, you're present, which is very important, because the I am is never in the past or the future. It is always right now. So that's one way to know. I'm just getting goosebumps. Thank you. That's one way to know that, I'm getting chills all the way up my back, that you're fully in your presence are you in the present? So does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And like
absolutely.
that, you'll be accountable for, all your actions, your words, your deeds, and you're coming from a better place. So that is the I am presence.
So how I hear it and how I kind of make an interpretation of it is you're connecting to that divine presence of the universe, whatever you want to call it, God, energy, your higher self. Yes. And then it's just really connecting to the source of everything that is pure and is knows it all and is abundant and is magic, and just really grounding that energy into yourself, into your soul. And then that allows you to be in the instant present moment without the worries of the past or the future.
Boom. And you live authentically because you're in your highest self.
Yes, you're not worried about, there's no fear, there's no second guessing, there's just all knowing that you are, and that's enough.
Just that, well, there could be some fears because obviously we're humans, but that comes up. But the part of you that is so wise, which is the I am, your soul, your spirit knows what's best. So, and then it will kind of tell you, I don't know if you've ever had it. I mean, I certainly have, is that battle within soul and personality, It's like your personality is who you think you think you're your personality, but you're not. You actually are your I am presence. So they like to fight every now and then, but over time, and it's an ongoing process. It's not so much like, I'm in my I am now and that's it. No, I have to continue to choose to be in my I am presence, and my words, my actions, and my deeds need to line up with that.
And why do you think we're so disconnected from this I am presence? Because I would say most of us human beings walk around being disconnected from this energy, or this, it's whatever we want to call it.
Sure. So it's a personal choice, depending on that soul, what they've been through in the past lifetime, what they want to work out on. Of course, you can't remember logically, but again, your spirit knows. And the spirit, I like to see the spirit as the mothership. It knows where it's going, and the soul is here to grow and learn. So the soul and the spirit need to work together so you can go nice and smooth sailing and not have a Titanic moment, you know. And the Titanic,
yes.
I would say the Titanic moment is what we hit all the time in life, you know, our struggles, our personal problems, relationship problems, personal problems. They're all the tip of the ice cube, but right down the bottom is where all the healing needs to happen in the soul. So it's like we're bashing into things, but it's all for a process. It's a process, and it's all meant to be.
Yeah.
But if we learn to trust ourselves and go within and really let the soulship, the mothership actually take course, and we can follow, then it will be a lot smooth sailing, you know, less bashing around the rocks and more flowing with spirit.
Yep, absolutely. And however, I think there's two things I was thinking when you were saying that. First of all is, I think I personally started to be aware of this energy, or this higher, and however I call it, let's call it the I am presence, because as we're calling it today, the I am, I connected and I was aware of it when I was going through my darkest moments. And that's when I actually realized there was so much more to me than just my personality and my fears and my desires. And there was something deeper inside of me. And
absolutely.
It's interesting how I think we need to go through difficulties to actually realize there's definitely something bigger than us there.
That's an amazing point, though. You're absolutely right. I highly agree. You have to go through things to understand them and to grow, and it gives you more depth.
Absolutely, yeah. And then it's kind of like we go through life and we think, I am a very logic person, so I just think my brain is, and I have all the answers, so I will work them out, and I'm very logic. I'm the type of person who likes organizing. And as we were doing the conversations leading to this podcast today, and how we operate from so different places, but I have learned in my personal story, in my personal experience, that it's kind of working from the neck up. And yes, it works, and you can have some successes, but it's not really until you go deeper into that soul, into that grounding, and getting centered with, I personally see it as I get centered with the energy of the earth, which is pretty much physics. And then I just kind of receive as well love and abundance from, for me, is God and the universe. And then it just changes everything. It's like it's an interesting presence to have. And I know when I am connected to that I personally do it through walking down the beach, or doing a meditation, or listening to some music that really makes me happy. I see everything so clearly. And it's kind of like a veil is being lifted out of me. And then now I am like, wow. And I wish I could be connected to that energy all the time, but obviously I disconnect continuously. And then that's why it has to become like a discipline of just really becoming present, and stop thinking so much with the head, and just grounding yourself a little bit more in your heart.
Yeah.
And I actually do it all the time. I put my hand in my heart, and I do it with my clients all the time. I ask them a question and I can see them thinking, I'm like, no, stop, put your hand in your heart and breathe into it. And now tell me. And it's different. It's completely different.
Tell me what you think tell me what you feel instead of what you think.
Exactly.
You know, people think that thinking is here and feeling is there, and it's not. It's actually the other way around. And once they're both balanced, they can communicate with each other.
Yeah. Exactly.
But if one needs more attention than the other, then we're in trouble, because then again we feel that war between us and we don't know which way to go. So that's a good, I'm so glad that you brought up the grounding techniques, because that would be our next thing we would probably talk about, is exactly that.
How to connect. Yes.
And you're doing it. And I'd like to correct you there. You are always connected, but sometimes we don't feel it.
Yes.
Because we are caught in our own head, our own stories, our own wounds, our own fears, insecurities, but it's there. It's just playing in the background, but it's more subtle. So when you're connecting to nature and walking or going, I know you live by the beach, beautiful, great. So that's actually lifting you up slightly higher. So it's more, you can feel that connection because your frequency is higher. That makes sense?
Exactly.
So
yep.
when you feel a little more disconnected, obviously your frequency is a little bit lower. It doesn't mean that all that I am is not there. It's always there. Always, always, always. And everybody has it. So, when we feel alone and we think, there's no one that understands, the I am understands. The I am is there with you from the moment you are born to the moment you die, to beyond your death, because obviously the spirit doesn't die, it just keeps evolving.
Yep.
So it is the one thing on Earth and planets and different solar systems and everywhere, wherever you come from, which is many, we won't even go into that today. Yes. But we all have it inside us, and we all have it access to it, and we are actually continuously evolving that without realizing that we are.
Yep.
If that makes sense as well. So it's spirit, so thy will be done, literally. Always, even though you are not sometimes aware of it. But if you are, excellent. That means you're ahead. You're in that mothership instead of the little sailboats at the back bashing against the rocks.
Yeah. And if I may ask, because I know you went through a lot of challenging times in your life, and I am curious as to how did you start connecting to this message? Was there a specific moment, or was that gradually you started connecting to this energy and to this message, or how did it actually happen?
So I wish it was just one moment, but no, it was probably 14 years, little tiny bits along the way, a lot of pain and sacrifice and wounding and experiences and all that good stuff that brings you to yourself. All those things are necessary to bring you to your darkest depths, so you can balance the shadow side of yourself. So I certainly did a lot of that. So my shadow and my light are now best of friends, and sometimes that doesn't mean that I'm perfect. I'm far from it, but I definitely have the tools and the knowledge, and I know how to apply them now in my life. And now I do that for other people, help people do the same. So no, I wouldn't specifically say it was just one day I just woke up and, the I am presence. Definitely not. It's been a long walk through the ring of fire. And I finally got my wings, and now it's like I get to flap them when I want, but it's my choice. But I have to obviously put in the work. So the more work I do, the more peace I feel, and obviously then make better better decisions for myself, which turns out to be better circumstances. And every time I did that, things just were shown to me, because spirit always, as you know, I don't like to say he, because it's not he, it's a he and a she. It's an energy, which isn't even a set. But sometimes I resonate more with the masculine energy. So the energy is, it doesn't give me like, okay, you need to do this, this and that. But it tells me a little bit, and then I do it, and then something else unfolds, and then I meet the right people and whatnot.
I know.
So, and that's how I got to the all about that. That's how,
we met.
Brought us together.
I know.
And look at us wearing, and isn't it ironic? Weren't we wearing this? I know you were wearing, what color were you wearing when we first met? I can't remember now. Was it green? It was green.
It was green, yes. With gold accessories, yes.
And we didn't plan this, guys.
No, and I think out of the times we met, 60% or 70% of the time we were in the same color, which is really funny.
I know.
You're watching.
I love her. She's got style. She's got swag, this one.
I love that. So how would you say we can embody this energy, like us, throughout our lives? What do we need to do to be connected more to this energy? And what will be the benefits of connecting to I am presence?
Okay. So I'll break it down just in easy steps. Obviously, there's a lot to it, but if you just do little steps each day and maintain that, it's all about cultivating it. You've got to water it to have a beautiful garden. People just expect, I do this one time and that's it. No, you got to be that gardener to your own mind, which is your life. Because if you change your mind, you change your life. So I would say grounding and aligning is obviously very important. So you got to connect within. So when you ground and align, that means you're going inside, because all the answers to your questions are all in here, not in here, in here. So just go in here. If you can just take one, if you don't have 5 minutes for yourself, you're in trouble, because I think everybody has 24 hours a day. Let's put some time aside so we can be better people and understand our bodies, right? Because not our minds, because once you get in touch with yourself within, you understand your body, and then your mind can follow. But we have it backwards in the way of the world now. People want to understand the mind, which is good to understand the mind. But it's important to go inside, what's going on with my body. For example, you're having a stressful day, you can certainly feel it. You'll feel tense. So, okay, you don't have time, go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom, sit on the bathroom, stand if you want to, and just breathe. Just put your hand on your heart or wherever it hurts. If it's your shoulders, and just breathe into it and talk to yourself. Talk to yourself like you were the loving parent, because that's what we should be to ourselves, as you know. What can I do to support Nidia today? I'm feeling really stressed. Okay, well, I know I love music. If I feel like, sometimes I don't feel like putting music on. Okay, so something else. My body wants something else. Have I fed it right? Have I given you nourishing food today, or have I just given you a donut? I love donuts. Okay, it's making choices that we're not thinking, but we're actually feeling. Okay, what does the body need today? Does it need a shake? The body will tell you, and the body has a way of telling you. If it tells you all day long, and all we have to do is listen, which means we've just got to sit down and feel, and an answer will come. If you have an ache, that's your body trying to tell you something. And if you don't listen, the body will be screaming at you at one point, and then you'll be forced to take time off because you don't listen to it. So it's constantly trying to show you, and it's loving. I can't say that word. Lovingly being patient, just waiting and waiting and waiting. And of course, everything has a time limit, and it will explode if you don't tend to it. So yeah, that's number one, is grounding and aligning, connecting with yourself, meditation, being around people that uplift you, support you, doing things that really honor you and make you happy. Whatever that is to you, it might be different to everyone, but what works for you and what doesn't. So, okay, stay away from things that don't work for you as much as you can. Of course, we all have responsibilities, but, we don't have to say yes to everything. Say yes to yourself. Okay, you need time? Great. That's number one. Number two would be knowing yourself. So you can't do number one without number two, because that's how you find out number two, right? Is to sit with yourself. What do I like? Why do I like this? Why do I get like this? Like, question yourself. Is this me? Where's this coming from? Is this someone else's stuff that's been put on me and now I believe it? Or is this really true? Because imagine if you don't know yourself, then you're in trouble, because anybody says something to you, you're going to believe it. And that will derail you off your divine purpose. And we're here, and everybody has a divine purpose. And sometimes it's not just one, it's obviously multiple across your life. So there's no need to search for the one, because there's no such thing. It's a bit like a man. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. There's ones that come, I'm going to get in trouble. You know what I mean? From a spiritual point of view.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more with that one. And it is that as part of the process of what I take my clients with personal brand and presence, which obviously presence, hence the word there, that is where it all begins. Know yourself. And we all walk around thinking, of course, I know who I am, but I would say probably 95% of the human population don't know themselves well enough, haven't understood well enough their needs, their wants, the fears. And when we get to a deeper level of understanding who we are and why we act the way we do, there is like a whole new level of confidence and strength that comes from your body, and the acceptance of what you spoke before as well, of accepting that dark side. As we all have brilliant, bright, beautiful light side, there is a dark side that we need to learn to own, and own us with all the good, the bad, and the everything in between. And from that place, then, as you said, then you can be grounded, you can be centered, you can make decisions, you can go for goals that are meaningful, and everything kind of changes.
You can do it all. You can have everything you want and anything you want, coming from a balanced place of accepting all of you. Like, if I just accept the beautiful Nidia, which I am, and I accept it's taken hard to get to here, and I leave this Nidia, which actually got me here, then I'm only half of a Nidia.
Yeah.
So a whole Nidia has the world to give, and to receive as well. And you've got to be balanced. You have to. And a lot of people are uncomfortable with going down that side of the shadow. Oh, it's uncomfortable, I don't want to go there, but you have to go there. That's why if you're uncomfortable, I say do it. It's like Nike, what is it? Just do it.
Just do it.
You feel the fear and you do it anyway, because it's a learning experience. And then if you don't, it doesn't sit with you, then you can make a decision. But don't let fear stop you, because that's exactly what you need.
Exactly. Love it.
Yeah. And the third one would be embodiment. So once you've got the 1 and 2 down packed, and when I say down packed, I mean like obviously on a regular basis, like every day, every minute, every stressful situation. Like I wouldn't be in my embodiment if I didn't do the 2 beforehand with all the work, and also the watering, that, the constant, and the love that I have to give to myself, because I can't expect, it's nice to receive it from the outside, of course. Do I love it? Absolutely. Do I need it? No. Do I want it? Yes. But I'm not dependent on anyone on the outside or any circumstance. As stressful as I am, and recently I've been really stressful situations, but I'm giving myself that love. And regardless of what's happening on the outside, or who I'm with or who I'm not with, it doesn't matter. What matters is how I feel on the inside, and am I doing the best I can right now in that full embodiment of myself, of my I am presence. So the embodiment is tapping in. So it has body wisdom. Like I was saying, like if people only knew how special they really are, like it's so hard to put into words for people to understand the sovereign nature of themselves, and it's hard because obviously they look at themselves, and I'm like, they look at their life, or look where I've been, look what I look like, I'm not this, I'm not that, but you're more than the body. So your spirit is royal. I'm getting goosebumps again, head to toe.
Me too. I had a deep sigh there.
They're getting, excellent, good. So I hope all our viewers are getting goosebumps, because that's total confirmation from spirit. They rejoice every time, and they show me little things like that all the time. I love it. Ooh. But they rejoice because we've forgotten. We've like, the world is in amnesia, and like you said, like, why do people forget? Because of that, because of the great sleep that everyone's under. Not everyone, but we're slowly awaking, and then when we awake, we inspire others to do the same, and then it's a domino effect. So it's really about tapping in every day, even if it's 5 minutes at night, 5 minutes in the morning. Morning and night are essential. If you can't do it during the day, I would go have lunch on the grass and just let everything out, drain out of your body into the earth. Mother Earth is such a blessing. The air, the sun, the wind, everything, just all the elements are here to support us. And we truly are blessed. It's just a matter of getting out of our heads and into our truths, which are our innate hearts, and tapping into that body wisdom, which is always there. And then you get really good at it. And then, okay, my body's feeling weird. This isn't right for me. And then, it's building that relationship, just like with anything in life. And then you're set. And then you just keep applying that every day until your last breath. And then
just that.
That's it. But it's either that, or, it's not to say that we're going to have a brilliant life after that. No, because we're still here in the third dimension, which means difficulties, and challenges. But that's exactly why we're here. So, but it will bring you to that place of you have everything you need. It's just about going in there, realizing that, activating it, and living it, embodying it, and that's it. So it's better to live like that than bashing against the rocks all the time,
Absolutely.
We'll get a break every now and then. We'll get a little break, and then we'll have another big rock, and then we'll kind of go around it. Instead of bashing the rock, we can go around it because we have wisdom and we're applying it.
Yep. Yeah. And one of the things that it just came to me straight away is, as I said, I think I have understood this concept for a long time now. And obviously, because I understood it, it doesn't mean my ride has been any smoother since then. But, but as you said, I always say that my life used to be like a peak and like this, whereas now I'm a little bit more like, and then instead of going, because I tend to be very depressed and go very dark very quickly, instead of going into those dark places for days or weeks, I can go into those dark places for a day or two, and then I have the tools to pick myself up again. And then everything. And then I also get to share what I learned, which is one of the biggest things that I love is that all the challenges and all this information and understanding of how things really actually work, and it's not about getting more skills and qualification, none of that, but really understanding how to deal better with our own emotions and with the people around us emotions as well. And it's really kind of like by learning this and implementing this and sharing this with others, it keeps me accountable. Yet I go into the deep dark zone for a week or so, but
and I'm with you.
Yeah, there's that deeper sense. There's that deeper sense of, I am so much more than this worry. I am so much more than this pain. I am so much more. And then you can bounce back in a different way.
You're more resilient. Like, okay, you can still, it's not to say exactly that. It's not going to make your life brilliant, but it will make your life as brilliant as it can be if you stay in that state of mind. And that's what happiness is, right? A state of mind.
Yep.
So if we keep changing our, people think happiness is a goal, or it's not. It's a state of mind, and we enter so many different states of mind a day. So I love it. I love, the total awareness and the acceptance of oneself brings the authenticness and the presence, and exactly what you said, you're accountable then, you know, and you snap yourself out of it. I know I've done it recently. I had to basically like slap my, like, not my spirit, my personality, like, okay, girl, get it together kind of thing. You know, this is this and that's that, and you have to go this way and you're doing this, and then it goes. It's just having that compassion, like, for whatever you're going through, your body's not against you, it's for you.
Yeah.
You know, and this is especially important for people who are ill. Like, they could feel that their body is failing them, but really they are failing their body.
Yep.
So there's a disconnection there, and it's up to them to do everything they can. Of course, medical, that I'm not talking about, I'm not taking away from anyone's illnesses or anything like that. They're real and they affect people, but underneath it, there's a spiritual wound that needs to be tended to. So if you tend to that, that's when your health kind of gets back on track.
100%. I 100% believe in that. And as you were saying before, the other thing, a part of this learning that I think has helped me a lot, because I used to be the queen of the victimhood and sitting there in my massive throne as a victim and just literally there for a long time, which is, I now can laugh at it, but actually understanding that things are happening for me. And even when I am in a dark place, and I was in a dark place 2 days ago, and then I call dark place when obviously I'm not feeling all that energy and that flow. It's just like questioning everything. So I'm in that place, and then I'm thinking, this is all part of the plan. This is all fine. This is teaching me something. And just even though it doesn't instantly take me out of it, is being more accepting of my circumstances and shifting my perception of them. So then I can be more in the present moment, as opposed to being panicking about how everything is going to hell. And then it's like, so it does change.
Exactly. Sorry to interrupt. Yes, keep going.
Yeah, no, that actually changes. And obviously, as a person who has lived as a victim for a long time and being the victim of everybody but herself, actually taking that ownership of my situations. And actually, when I kind of went through that challenging, massive time during my divorce and being new in Australia and leaving my engineering behind, all that part, I was so busy accusing my ex-husband, my mom, my upbringing, my friends who bullied me, this and that. And then I literally went and said, no, hang on a second. This is when I realized my mindset was all wrong. And then I had the ability to create an incredible life if I shifted my perception, instead of going from that place of so much fear and so much lack into shifting into, I am a daughter of the universe, whatever it is, I am here for a reason. The chances of me coming into this body, I'm so tiny. When you hear all those studies that show like the chances, all that it takes for us to just come here and be me with my personality so there's a reason for me being here. I need to stop beating myself and stop thinking that I am not good enough. And obviously, because that has been my personal challenge with the thinking that I'm not good enough. So as I said, it's a constant little battle, but every time it's reminding me, no, I am here for a reason, and who I am is okay. And if I am present in the moment, if I go into my soul, I know I'm going to feel very different. That if I start thinking from here and making decisions from here, I am pointing to my head. Sometimes I forget this is a podcast, but for you guys watching on YouTube, we go into your heart, and then from that place is different. Everything.
And even listening from your heart too. So let's get out of the head. Let's let the head comes into it when the heart has been dealt with first.
Yes.
So let it be a process like, okay, I'm going to go here and then I'm going to go here. Because once you go here, then you naturally go there anyway. And it's more balanced.
Exactly.
It's coming from a place. So see the heart as the wisdom and see the brain as survival, because that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
So you need to be in your wisdom and wisdom mode, not survival mode, but we are born into survival mode, obviously, for many reasons.
Yeah.
So it's training, exactly what you just said, training every day. You will have to talk to yourself like a little baby. You know, we have so much patience for little babies. So see the soul, not the soul as little babies because it's so wise, but it's still growing. It's seeing it as it's the wounded parts of the soul.
Exactly.
So you're tending to that. You're nursing that in that little moment of love. And that love is like a soothing, like honey balm, you know, it just makes you feel so, like you said, it doesn't take it away, but it takes that edge off, like, okay. And then, you know, it'll be momentum, like it's energy. So as soon as you put something out there enough times, it's going to come back to you.
Yeah. And you know how sometimes now the other thing that has shifted a lot with me is realizing that when I am not feeling in a great vibe and energy, and I know I am reacting to something. So I know I am reacting, and I can even see with kindness, I have done so much inner child work and really see that part of me in the past that was so hurt. And then I can have so much more compassion for me, allowing me to then have better relationships and allowing me to be better at what I do and allowing me to be more real, more vulnerable with no fear of what are people going to think of me or not, because I am not expecting me to either get it right or be perfect anymore. And it really takes so much. It gives me so much more. Yeah, it takes so much pressure out of me. Like, I am not saying I am a mediocre person who's not trying to do the best I can, but no, while I beat myself up for everything I've done and I haven't done. So it shifts completely.
Like when you want to be perfect, perfectionism. So that's a no, because it doesn't exist. The only thing that's perfect is your I am presence. That's the only thing that's perfect. So everything else isn't. And of course, we're one with it. So it won't be perfect because we're human and the I am together. So
yes, I love that, because not in a way we are channeling that we will be perfect because we are humans. But the amounts of times we edit and change who we are and how we show up in the world and what we do and don't do, which is my passion when I do the work that I do, is like, how can we just go about life without expecting to get it right? And I've done a couple of podcasts already that go around this topic, so we won't go too much into that. But if we actually realize that as human beings, we are not expected to be perfect, the amount of things that can shift and the way in which you can be who you are without saying things for getting a response or saying things so people hear what they have to say, to hear, but you think they want them to hear. But it's kind of like you really start being so much more authentic and real in your life, your relationships, your achievements, and your day-to-day life transforms completely. And then you can go on and get whatever it is, more money, more better relationships, more adventure, more travel, better health, because you are in an authentic, you're living authentically, and you are not getting sick or stressed by trying to be a person you are not, because you're trying to get it right.
You attract all that naturally. So really, when you're bringing yourself up and really working on yourself, it's ironic. You don't really have to go out there and look for it. Of course, it's important to have goals and what you want to do. Absolutely, apply yourself, because you can't just have faith. You got to do the work. Yeah. And faith is obviously very important as well. You have to believe in it for it to come about. But people have the faith, or they can use mantras, which are amazing to get started with. But if you're just doing a mantra and you don't believe it, you will do that for the rest of your life and you'll get nowhere, because it's got to be the matching frequency that you're emitting. So, if you want abundance and you're in scarcity mindset, it's not going to happen.
Absolutely. I spoke about that in the previous episode. So that goes really good in line with this.
Yeah. So it's all about changing that frequency of you. And I would go as far as to say that we don't even, we don't have to be perfect. And that's so good. Like, it's fine to be exactly how you are. You may not like it, but if you sit with it and understand, okay, why am I like this? Why do I act like this when that person does that? And the body will tell you. In time, it will tell you. It might not be instantly, but you'll see a pattern in yourself and the people you loved with. you love, and you're in love with as well. And it will become aware to you, oh, okay, that's coming from when I was a little girl and I felt insecure, or I was abandoned, and now that's triggering me. And then I'm reacting instead of responding. So once I get to that point and I give myself love and acceptance, and it's now like settled down and it doesn't become a problem anymore. It, like you said, it will affect me a tiny bit, but I'm not going to go boof, like just lose the plot over it or overreact. So it's because you got to see it like, okay, they're telling me to show you something. So this little beauty right here that I have on, it's a mother and child.
Yes, beautiful.
On my healing table over here. So that's exactly what we have to do. That's the relationship we need to have with ourselves.
Yep.
So this is the divine mother. And obviously, if you're a father, you're the divine father to your whatever.
Own kid. Yeah.
Both. Yeah. So this is us, and this is the wounded part of us. And we just need the unconditional love of a mother or a father. Yep. So we got to give it to ourselves and all will be well. We don't need to change who we are, because once we tend to that side of us, it naturally changes. So it sounds like it's overwhelming and I have to do this and I have to do that, but just take one step each day and you will be so surprised, because spirit just wants you to take that one step, and then you get another direction, and then someone will call or you'll hear something and like a song will go on and it will uplift you. There will be that support because it's always there. You're just not in tune with it. But be in tune with yourself and you will be in tune with spirit. Yes. And then everything else is like synchronicities, numbers and angel numbers and all that good stuff. It's really exciting when that happens as well.
Yes.
So I'm sure we've all experienced that. Yeah.
Love it. So any closing ideas or any tools, anything you want to share for us before we go?
No, I think we've touched on everything, like the aligning, the grounding, full moons. We could use full moons to really support us. Full moons, and so it's a time of releasing everything, and it's important. I would say daily check-ins. Today, like what happened today? I was really stressed about this. Okay, like just go the little run through in your mind. Okay, I could have dealt with this a little bit better. Not to bash yourself. We don't want that. Yep. But just so you're aware, okay, when this happened, this person told me to do that. I was really overwhelmed. Why was I overwhelmed? And what can I do to support myself? Not in a way like I should have acted like this, or no. We want to come from a place of love over fear. Yep. And fear is obviously all the negative stuff of it. So come into your heart and be like, ask yourself, oh, this stressed me out today. How can I better, ask yourself, talk to yourself, and just be with yourself. And be loving and kind, and give yourself a big hug if you need to. And even when you do that, like I do that, I automatically smile. See, I can't help myself.
Yeah, of course.
So, it's beautiful. And that's what we need. We're still those little children in these adult lives, but we're so many things, it's not just the child, we're the spirit, we're the soul, we're the body, we're the mental body, we're so many versions of us. So it's so complex. So if we can just tend to, all of ourselves, but in little ways, it really does make a difference. So I would definitely start with that, like know thyself, the Oracle of Delphi. She's
absolutely 100% one of my biggest.
I come from the ancestry line.
Yeah, I love it. I always say just really get to know yourself, and really that has such a big meaning that we've been discussing today, and that's why it's so important, and that's why it's the beginning of the work I do with every single person or presentation I do, is because when you know yourself and you understand yourself, everything from there, it's like creating the foundation, really getting to embrace all of who you are.
Solid.
Yes, it's solid. So then from there,
yes. Yeah. If you want it to crumble, you can pull it down and start again, but it's solid. So I love it.
Thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing your beautiful wisdom. And I will be adding your website and your information so people can go and connect with you if they want to have a chat or want to work with you. And then guys, will see you at the next episode. Thank you again so much, Nidia, for being here today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, guys. Thank you, Alba. I love you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Amplify. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe. Also, I will love it if you leave us a review. See you for the next episode. Bye-bye.